When we go forth living a lifestyle of faith, that means we're leaving doubt behind, and that is a thing of the past. If we do that, that means then we're going to have to make changes in our life. And when you go forth in a lifestyle of faith, you'll notice everything changes. And so today we're going to talk about 3 strategies on how to transition into living a lifestyle of faith.
This is Collective Gifts. I'm Noella, and this is Rachel.
Hey, everyone. Welcome. It's day 10 of our 21-day Do the Right Thing fast. And before we begin, we're just going to share with you a story of what happened to us when we were going to the market recently.
So we were exiting the driveway, driving out, and then we looked to the left. The curb was painted red.
We were shocked.
No parking. And it went on for a few different curbs, consecutive.
Down the street, yeah.
And 1,000 feet more, we noticed that there was a speed sign where it tells you how fast you're going down the street. And, we know that wasn't there before. And then as we get to the market, we noticed that part of the parking lot was closed off because they were installing the chargers for the EV vehicles. And then as we, park, we go in, and then we notice that there is a self-checkout lane in the market, which was not there before. So all these things, and wait, we're not done. As we leave the market, we go home, and there's construction all over the streets on our route home. And it's just, that was a lot of change, occurring at one time.
Yes. You would expect maybe 1 or 2 things, but it just was wherever we went, it was just constantly seeing a new thing, a change here, a change there. And in my mind, it was just resonating. Everything's changing. And it was true. Everything was changing because they were being upgraded, right? Making things more streamlined or making repairs so that it's better. And so that's the thing about our life. When we go through changes in our life, we go through that transitional season. And just like the construction, it's uncomfortable, it's inconvenient, right? It cramps your style. But you have to endure through it, right? Because you have to recognize, well, they're doing something better, right? It's for our betterment. And it's the same thing in our spiritual life, where these changes as we go forth in this transition, sometimes it'll come easy, sometimes we'll struggle, slip and fall. Other times, we'll get it going. But ultimately, we have to recognize that it is for our betterment, and we're not going to look at the failures, but we're going to continue to look at those little successes because they all add up. And so the first thing that we're going to do as we transition to a lifestyle of faith is we are going to accept and adapt. We're going to accept the change because change is inevitable, right? And so you can do things easy way, which is accept it, or the hard way, which is resist it. And when you resist it, then you're really struggling with God. You're wrestling, you're fighting with him, and he's not going to be able to do anything because you're not willing. So he's going to have to wait for you. And, chasten you, discipline you, right? Until you are ready to make those changes. So after you accept the change, then you're ready to adapt. And that means when you adapt to the change, it means you're willing to make changes in what you do in life. So that now you're co-laboring with God and you're allowing him to help you and to work in you and through you so that you go forth and change yourself, as well as being an agent of change with other people, including your loved ones. And so the second transitional strategy is a segue of going forth and aligning
with the word of God. And so this is your walk of faith. This is where, you're not the same as you were before. The way you think, the way you speak, the way you act, just your overall heart attitude when you do things too. So it's just noticing that there is a difference the way you do things today as opposed to yesterday, because you're aligning yourself with the word, and the word shows you the way that you should go and what you should do and what you should speak, and all these things.
And then the third transitional strategy is then to live an authentic life of faith. So be authentic. Being authentic means you are living intentionally. You are purposeful, because now you're saying, I am committed to living a lifestyle of faith. And that means doubt and fear, even though it may try to come upon me, I'm not going to just go forth in it and fall into the traps of it. I'm going to use what we talked about earlier about aligning with the word of God. I'm going to align those strategies in our life or implement them. So then now you can go forth and enforce your victory and enforce going forth by faith. And being authentic means you're not just going to be authentic in faith when you're at church
On Sunday only? No.
or hanging out with church people. No.
No.
It's when you're at work, when you're in the marketplace, with your family, even when you're by yourself. That's just who you are. That's your character, is being an authentic
24/7, 365 days a year.
Exactly. And so when you do that, right, then you're practicing living a lifestyle of faith. It becomes part of who you are. And so when people look at you, they can expect, all right, this person's going to go forth by faith, right? They're genuine, they're authentic, and you have credibility as a believer. And they'll be able to see God working in you and through you. And so going forth in your life right now, we want to challenge you to examine your life. What you're thinking, what you're feeling, your heart attitude, what you're doing, what you're saying. And whatever it is you're going on in life too, if there's a crisis situation, or a challenge or struggle, or even if things are going well, compare how your response is. Does it align with the Word of God, or does it miss the mark? And, if you see areas that miss the mark, that shows you those are areas in which you need to restructure or rebuild. And that's fine, because we all are always a work in progress.
Yes.
And even, maybe one time we might think, oh, yes, we've mastered that. But then we go through something and then we'll see, oh, it's still an issue. So it's okay. So just examine your life, what you need to do. And then you make that conscious decision, right, to go forth and apply what we've taught today. And so we want to thank you for joining us. We love and appreciate you. God bless you. And we will see you tomorrow. Until then, Shaloha.